Welcome to another edition of Whiskey, Games, and Nerd Stuff. Today's whiskey, we are continuing to drink the Basil Hayden Dark Rye. This is an 80 proof, very easy to drink, very smooth. Let's go ahead and take a sip. I do enjoy the Basil Hayden with that lower proof when you're just kind of wanting to sip on something while you're doing something else. And today's nerd stuff is we're going to go through the pre-release kit that in the deck that I built for the pre-release last night of Magic the Gathering, Murders at Karlov Manor. Now, I'm not the best at Magic the Gathering nor deck building, but I actually did pretty well last night. Let me go ahead and pull out the deck that I built. I'll go ahead and separate these into the creatures and then spells. Would love to hear in the comment section if anybody else did the pre-release yet, and if you did, what your thoughts were so far, how it went, and what you think about this set. I actually enjoyed myself with it. I was having fun. It was interesting. I was in a game store out in Utah, Game Haven, and they played a video beforehand because there was a lot of mechanics, which I always thought was interesting. It's been a while since I've seen a video at a Magic tournament, but it was pretty cool, and it was needed. There was quite a few new mechanics on there that we'll kind of go through. So I'll go ahead and go through some of the cards I had. So the first one, Ballista Stalker, flying. Whenever Ballista Stalker deals combat damage to a player, you gain 1 life and surveil, and disguise of 4. So on disguise, this is what I kept messing up, is you can pay 3 mana, put it face down, and it's a 2/2 creature when it's face down. Then later, at any time, you can pay the disguise cost to flip the card over. Then I have a nice little big 6/5 Trampler. A Hedge Whisperer, which is kind of a cool card. I can choose not to untap him. And then his ability is I pay 4 mana and I collect evidence. Collecting evidence means I'm exiling cards out of the graveyard. In this particular case, you have to exile a total mana value of 4 or greater. When I do that, a target land becomes a 5/5 creature with haste for as long as he remains tapped. Now, this was pretty cool because this turns into a nice beefy 5/5 early on, and that actually helped me win some games. Have Persuasive Interrogators. When Persuasive Interrogators enters the battlefield, create a clue token. And then the clue token, it's an artifact where if you pay 2 mana and sacrifice artifact, draw a card. And then whenever you sacrifice a clue, target opponent gets 2 poison counters. I actually ended up getting 6 poison counters on somebody I played against last night. Unscrupulous Agent. When Unscrupulous Agent enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles a card from their hand at random. A little Death Touch Haste with Ward. Barbed Servitor. This was a pretty cool card. It's indestructible. When Barbed Servitor enters the battlefield, suspect it. It has Menace and can't block. Whenever Barbed Suspector deals damage to a player, you draw a card and lose life. Whenever Barbed Servitor is dealt damage, target opponent loses that much life. This was a pretty cool card. This was really good in and then this was my list card. Good old Sir Conrad the Grim. Ended up winning at the skin of my teeth. Ended up winning with this card in one of the matches. Another Hedge Whisperer. Nervous Ganderer. Flourishing Gloomkin. When Flourishing Bloomkin gets +1/+1 for each force you control. That was a nice little beefy character to have up fast. Tunnel Whisperer. At the beginning of my end step, if a face-down creature entered the battlefield under control, it gets a +1/+1 counter. So as you can see, I was kind of going with getting the counters. And then another Undercity Eliminator. And then for my cards, of course, went with some control. We have Murder. Then Slice of the Shadows. Can't be countered. So control, target creature gets -X till end of turn. Nice little case where if it comes in, a creature that was dealt damage that turn, I can destroy. If 3 or more creatures die in a turn, it becomes a 4/4 creature with Death Touch, Lifelink, This actually won me a game. Toxis Analysis. Target creature gains Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. Investigate. This was an awesome card. It ended up getting me ahead on life. Of course, a nice little +3/+3 and trample. Pick your poison. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact. Each opponent sacrifices an enchantment, or each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying. Basically went with the flyers most of the time. Another Toxis Analysis. Killer Among Us. This is an awesome card. When Killer Among Us enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human creature token, a 1/1 merfolk, and a 1/1 goblin. Secretly choose one of them, and then when I sacrifice this, reveal the chosen creature type. If target attacking creature token is of the chosen type, put 3/1 counters on it. Bite down on crime. Target creature gains +2/+0 until end of turn. It does damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. And of course, a similar one, hard-hitting question. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. So for number of cards, for non-spell cards, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For creatures, I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Which gave me 23, and then went with 17 lands, which gave me 40. So this is the deck I went with that I built. So I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on this particular deck, what I built, kind of the synergies I was trying to go with it, and then let's go ahead and take a drink, and we will pull out the cards I did not pick. Okay, so this is the stuff that I had that I did not use. So I've got No Witnesses, Auspicious Arrival, another No Witnesses. So each player who controls the most creatures investigates, then destroy all creatures. So I could have had some serious board wipes if I went with these. I ended up getting 2 of those. Auspicious Arrival, Call Surprise Witness, another Auspicious Arrival, Inside Source, Defense Phantom, Seasoned Consultant, Inside Source, another Seasoned Consultant. Then our blue, didn't have much blue. Kind of flip through these. Red, I usually like to go with red, but I didn't feel like I had much good in the red. So I only had this one. Convenient Target, Shock, Red Herring, Goblin, Mashmaker, 2 of them, Offender at Large. I mean, I could have gone with the red. Then some of the Surveil lands. 1, 2, 3 of them. Some multicolored cards that I got. This was a good one. Menace War 2 Haste. When Karlov's Visionary Inventor attacks, sacrifice any number of other creatures, then exile the top X cards of your library. Where X is the total power, you may cast any number of instants and or sorcery spells from among those exiled cards without paying their mana cost. Nice little card. And, let's go ahead and flip these over. Really like the design of how this card looks. And then here was the greens that I didn't go with that I was thinking about putting in there. The Airtight Alibi, Extract a Confession. I had another Hedge Whisperer. I ended up having 3 of these, but I only put 2 in the deck. Extract a Confession, another Pick Your Poison. They went this way. Another Persuasive Interrogators. Thinking Cap. Another Thinking Cap. Magnifying Glass. Lumbering Laundry. Ballista Stalker again. And then, of course, the art cards. Some lands. Do like the mountain. I really like how that mountain looks. And a couple tokens. So that's what I ended up not doing. I think I went with the right color. Again, I would really love to hear in the comments section if you felt that if I picked the two strongest colors, or if you would have gone with another color. I was kind of leaning with black white, but I kept going back and forth, and I ended up going with the black green. I ended up 2-1. I think I could have pulled off and been undefeated. I did do a misplay on the game. The one that I lost, I did a couple misplays that I still think I could pull it around. Mid-game, I ended up pulling 6 lands in a row, which didn't help, and I think had him down to 2 life. And then the tie-breaking game on that one was went to time, to rounds, and he ended up the round with a little bit more life than me. But a 2-1 record overall was pretty good. Even though I'm not the best at making these decks or playing, I do feel like I did pretty good with this deck. I did misplay a couple things. The one thing I did the most was I kept thinking that the Sky's cost was the face down, not the 3. But now that I remembered that, I shouldn't make that same mistake again. I really enjoyed this particular set. This was a lot of the fun event. Again, it was at the Game Haven out in Utah. They have a couple locations, if I recall correctly. Really good turnout. The crowd was really fun. It was a good competitive environment, friendly, great time. The staff was very enjoyable. Had a great time, and people, of course, were playing Commander before and after. But let's go ahead and take another drink real quick. Really would appreciate if you would like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And until next time, cheers.